afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now Live at 4. It's Friday.
You and I are here.
It's quiet.
Jamie Perez is here.
Bruno is not. He is that's why it's kind of quiet around here today.
A lot of people taking a 4-day weekend.
Yes, I think most people are. You can tell by the traffic. We'll get to all that in a bit, but first, here's what's making news. On this Friday, officials with the Clean Lake Alliance say they're monitoring area lakes as we continue to see hot temperatures and storms.
A Madison bookstore is trying to help people stuck in legal battles at the U.S.-Mexico border. Our Jamie Perez will share that story.
And in Washington, the Trump administration says it'll soon deport thousands of undocumented people living in the United States.
Let's take a look outside today on this Friday afternoon. It was another hot and sticky one out there.
I'm tired of this.
Yeah, the humidity is really oppressive.
It is tropical out there, but a break from the heat. Gary Canalti is with us today. He's in the backyard where it's a little muggy. Hi, Gary.
A little more than a little muggy, but this time tomorrow, I think we'll notice the humidity will be down and temperature should be down as well. Let's start out by taking a look, first of all, at visible cloud track. We've had plenty of sunshine, and that has just allowed us to really bake today. Temperatures have been up around the 90-degree mark. There have been a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. A couple moved through the Janesville area early this morning, but right now, things pretty quiet across much of southern Wisconsin. We'll see our better chances for thunderstorms later tonight into tomorrow morning as a cold front comes through just a little bit later than forecast, but that means that we should dry out for tomorrow afternoon, and the rest of the weekend should be dry. Current temperatures are in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees, so you can see those temperatures very warm across southern Wisconsin, and dew point temperatures right now are right around the 70-degree mark. You factor those two together, it feels like it's 91 degrees in Madison, feels like it's in the upper 90s over parts of southern Wisconsin. By tomorrow morning, temperatures should be down to the around the 70-degree mark. The thunderstorm chances again a little bit better later tonight into tomorrow morning, and then we'll see some sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. Now, as we take a look at the DOT camera at the belt or on East Washington Avenue, traffic moving pretty steadily. It's been a quiet day, obviously the day after a holiday and right in the middle of the weekend. Not seeing any big delays right now on the belt line, just a minor incident on one of the ramps. A little bit of a slowdown southbound on I-3990 in the Janesville area. Otherwise, the interstates south and east of Madison and north and west of Madison heading up into central Wisconsin or heading out toward La Crosse right now in pretty good shape, but be aware with these warm temperatures it's possible you could run into some quick highway buckles if the temperatures get too warm, but we'll keep an eye on that. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
All right, thanks, Gary.
Topping our news today, it's another hot day in Madison. Of course, that means another day of getting to the lake.
We really need our lakes when the weather is like this. Amy Reed joins us now to see how the lakes are doing this year and how you can keep them healthy. Amy?
Yeah, most of the beaches, like here at Lake Wingra, are open and healthy, but our lakes are dynamic, which means that can change quickly. The Clean Lakes Alliance is constantly monitoring the health of the lakes. They have about 70 volunteers that will measure different points on all the lakes for water quality. And anytime it's hot and the water is stagnant, it helps blue-green algae bloom. Right now, the lakes have benefited from an overnight rainstorm, which shakes up the water. But overall, the rain we've gotten this year has flushed a lot of organic material into the lake, which produces phosphorus, which produces blue-green algae.
We've spent the last 150 years building out our system so that basically the faster that we can get the water off of our property into the stormwater system, we thought was the best thing for us. It's actually the worst thing for the lake. So what we want to do is keep the water where it lands on your lawn.
In order to do that, they want residents to try and get rainwater to stay where it lands. You can build rain gardens or rain barrels, really anything to keep the water from picking things like grass clippings or leaves and bringing them to the lake. You know, he told us that there's no real way to predict if the lakes will stay healthy, so you really just got to do your part, make sure that there's not extra phosphorus getting down to the lakes.
We all have a role to play. That is the place to be today.
It sure is.
It's hopping there. Amy Reed reporting live. Thank you, Amy.
Janesville police are looking for a man they say fired shots into the air as they were trying to arrest him. On Monday night, officers responded to a disturbance on Academy Street, northwest of Monterey Park. According to a release, when officers tried to arrest 39-year-old Antonio Sims, he pulled a gun from his waistband and fired 3 shots into the air. Police say they recovered the gun and shell casings nearby, but Sims is still not in custody.
Madison School Board member Mary Burke announced today that she will step down from her position in a service. Her personal and professional commitments do not allow her the time and energy needed to fulfill her term. Board President Gloria Reyes says Burke's commitment has been undeniable and thanked her for being a steady leader and dedicated public servant. The school board will discuss filling the vacant seat at its meeting Monday night.
President Trump says his administration will soon begin deporting thousands of undocumented people living in 10 major cities after delaying action last month. The announcement comes amid escalating tensions over the treatment of migrants detained at the border. Customs and Border Protection says it's launched an internal investigation into social media posts allegedly by CPB employees mocking migrant deaths and bashing Democrats.
I haven't seen it. I will say this. Certain members of Congress say very bad things and lie and exaggerate. And Border Patrol people are tough people. They're not happy about it.
Democrats on Capitol Hill are expected to hear from top immigration officials next week about the controversial post and the growing crisis on the southern border. A recent report by the Homeland Security Department's Inspector General detailed severe overcrowding issues at CPB facilities. Investigators also describing children with no access to showers or hot meals. And the crisis at the border continues to be a hot-button issue, but a Madison bookstore says it's taking matters into its own hands.
Jamie Perez is here now. She spoke with the bookstore staff about what they're doing and how quickly this is gaining momentum, Jamie.
Well, this bookstore is actually located just off of State Street. It's called A Room of One's Own. They're doing something they've never done before, and for those who are willing, you are the help they need. All weekend long, 10% of their book sales is being donated to an organization called RACES. It's based in Texas, and they basically just do legal work for those who are detained at the border. This started as a small effort by this one bookstore to last only one day, but based on the amount of support that they've gotten across the nation, they've actually extended that to last throughout the weekend. Right now, they have about 114 bookstores teaming up with their efforts nationwide to donate a percentage of their sales this weekend for this cause. And as of this morning, they've raised about $15,000.
We're going to be raising a lot of money. You know, like our goal right now is between $50,000 and $75,000, and we think we're confident that we're going to reach that. And we're floored. We didn't think that this was not something we thought was possible.
This effort applies to anything that you want to buy in store or online. They said that they've already gotten a lot of overwhelming orders online. If you would like to support their cause, you can buy books from them, again, in store or online, but you can also just donate to them without buying anything, and I'll have a link on how to do that if you would like to help on our website at channel3000.com.
Great idea, great effort.
Sure.
Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Southern California is bracing for more aftershocks after the strongest earthquake to hit the area in 20 years. The 6.4 magnitude quake in Ridgecrest hit early this morning and sent items flying off shelves at local businesses, and broken bottles littered the floor of a liquor store.
Everything that was on the shelves came crashing down. The wine, all I heard was just and it just fell.
We have multiple injuries. We've had 2 house fires. We've had small vegetation fires, power lines down, gas leaks.
Home security cameras caught the shaking that also caused roads to crack, and this house went up in flames. The local hospital was partially damaged, so 15 patients were evacuated as a precaution. Some had to be airlifted to other hospitals. Seismologists say the area should expect aftershocks to continue for some time.
The president's push to get a citizenship question added to the 2020 census continues a week after the Supreme Court put the question on hold. The Justice Department told a federal court Friday it is reevaluating all possible options as President Trump also suggests alternative ways of getting the question added. Natalie Brand is at the White House with what legal experts and critics are saying about the administration's latest moves.
President Trump says he still has options to get a citizenship question on the 2020 census.
We can start the printing now and maybe do an addendum after we get a positive decision. So we're working on a lot of things, including an executive order.
There is no executive order that the president can issue that would solve the problem.
That's because, as Georgetown University law professor Aderson Francois points out, the Constitution gives Congress primary power over the census.
The Commerce Secretary can add some questions to the census if they have valid reasons to do so.
Yes, count!
But last week, the Supreme Court rejected the Commerce Department's rationale for the question. Earlier this week, Justice Department lawyers told a federal judge the fight was over. But then President Trump tweeted the administration would move forward on the question after all. In a new court filing Friday afternoon, Justice Department attorneys say now they've been instructed to reevaluate all options to add a citizenship question.
Just drop the case and move forward with the census.
Immigration advocates say they'll continue to fight the question while also encouraging immigrants to participate in the census.
If we don't take it, we're going to lose a lot of support for our communities in our regions.
Critics of adding the citizenship question argue it could lead to an undercount in some communities, which could then affect school funding and congressional districts. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And Justice Department lawyers say they will inform the court if they come up with a new path forward on the citizenship question.
A civil lawsuit brought by the man who accused actor Kevin Spacey of sexual assault has been dropped just over a week after it was filed. The accuser, a Nantucket busboy, was 18 years old at the time of the complaint. The accuser's attorney told CNN in an email today he voluntarily dropped the lawsuit and would have no further comment. Spacey still faces criminal charges of indecent assault and battery in connection to the same incident. Spacey has pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Miami Dolphins defensive tackle Kendrick Norton is in the hospital after suffering serious injuries in a car crash. Police say the 22-year-old was driving his truck near Miami yesterday when it crashed into a concrete barrier and overturned. Norton's agent confirms his arm was amputated. His injuries are not considered to be life-threatening. Norton's girlfriend was also in the car. She suffered minor injuries. A family friend tells the Miami Herald Norton's vehicle was cut off by another car before the crash. The Miami Dolphins said in a statement, "Our thoughts and prayers are with Kendrick and his family during this time."
Still to come at 4 today, a legendary publication is coming to an end.
The satirical Mad magazine is about to publish its last issue. We'll have more on that when Live at 4 continues. Well, Classic Magazine is halting publication.
Mad Magazine will no longer be in print. The revered satirical publication was founded in 1952 as a comic book. In 1955, it switched to a magazine format and then became a cultural touchstone. According to a person familiar with the matter, the August issue will be the last one on newsstands. The source said after that, issues will only be available via comic book stores and subscriptions. The magazine will continue to publish its end-of-the-year special, books, and special collections.
I grew up with that.
That's the end of an era,
Alfred
for
E.
sure.
Newman, yeah.
The U.S. economy added 224,000 jobs in June. It was a strong comeback for the labor market after a disappointing May.
The unemployment rate rose to 3.7%, the highest level since March of 2019, but still historically low. Analysts had forecast a drag on jobs due to the uncertainty around trade tensions and a lackluster housing market. 335,000 people entered the labor force in June, substantially more than usual. Despite those numbers, stocks lost ground on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials fell 43 points, ending the week at 26,922. The NASDAQ Composite Index lost 8. The S&P 500 was off 5. Well, if you're a car enthusiast, there's a great opportunity to see some next weekend.
And to raise money for a very important cause at the same time. It's the car show fundraiser for Gilda's Club. It's next Saturday at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. That's hard to say.
I can't say that.
Twister in Middleton. Lee Barr with the Ferrari Club, which is organizing the event, is here. And Lania Stenz is the director of Gilda's Club. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
So Lee, tell us about this event. Is this just Ferraris or all cars?
All cars are welcome.
Okay.
But we started it, our club encourages us to join a charity and help out in the community. And so about 10 years ago, they asked me to do it, even though I didn't know what I was doing. And I picked Gilda's Club because it touched my family with cancer, and the money stays local, which I felt was a very important thing as well. So we've been doing this for about 10 years, and it gets bigger every year. But there will be a contingent of Ferraris there, but there will be all kinds of other cars as well.
Yeah, my Ferrari's in the shop. Can any car show up?
Well, certainly you can bring your daily driver.
Okay. So, I mean, you're encouraging people to bring cars that they love to the show.
Any car is welcome. We just, if you hang out with enough car people, you'll discover that they just love all cars. Anything with wheels.
And then there's a little program, and then everybody drives out to Botham Vineyards, out near Barneveld.
Yes, they're having their salsa and sangria day, so we'll be going out and joining them for that. But yeah, we do a raffle and a live auction to raise the money for Gilda's Club, and then we head off on a drive through the beautiful Wisconsin countryside.
And for people not familiar with Gilda's Club, just let us know what work you do.
Sure. So we do what is the emotional side of cancer. When someone learns they have a cancer diagnosis, they come to us for emotional support, cancer education, and wellness opportunities. We wrap around the entire family from the time of diagnosis through the conclusion of treatment, or if someone passes due to their cancer diagnosis, we continue to support the family beyond that. And everything we do is completely no cost because of events like this.
And it's all free. It's support groups. It's basically any kind of program you can imagine if you or someone in your family is affected with all kinds of cancer, right?
Exactly. People come to us, they join us by coming to a new member meeting. Membership is also free, and then they can choose whether they want to attend support groups, individual counseling, go to yoga classes, Tai Chi, or whatever it may be that is their need at that time.
And your offices took quite a hit last summer in the flood.
We did.
So I bet that was a little financial burden.
We took on 500,000 gallons of water when the floods hit, and it was about $1.3 million in damage. We are completely back from that. We are back to 100%, and we have new members coming to us all the time now. So it's huge for us to be able to move beyond that today.
And all the money, Lee, we raise at the car show, 100% of it is going to Gilda's Club, right?
100%.
So how will you raise that money?
We raise it through a raffle. We have approximately 40 raffle prizes, each worth more than $100. And then we'll be live auctioning about 7 items. Penthouse in the Dells for a week, round of golf for 4 at Bishop's Bay Country Club, and lots of other wonderful things.
Befitting of a Ferrari, I guess.
Exactly.
Well, it's very nice that Peter and Sarah Botham are hosting everybody at the vineyard because it's a beautiful drive out there, and then all the cars will sort of recongregate out there, right?
And they are car people, you know.
Oh, big time.
They do car things, so they're happy to have us as well. So, yeah.
Fingers crossed for good weather.
Fingers crossed for good weather.
But it will happen rain or shine?
It will happen rain or shine, because we will be raising the money.
All right, specifically the car show, the fundraiser for Gilda's Club, next Saturday. It starts at 11 a.m. at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse on
You did that
Demi
better
Way.
than I did.
A raffle and drawing starts at 1 o'clock, and then the drive to Botham is at 1:30. 100% of the proceeds, as we mentioned, goes to Gilda's Club.
Have a great event, everybody. Great to see you.
Thanks for coming out today.
Thank you.
Well, there's more to come on Live at 4, including a look at the latest Spider-Man movie to hit theaters.
And then coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 5, a woman says someone tried to scam her after telling her she would receive the winnings from a lottery ticket. We'll share that story coming up at 5.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Well, take a look at this. More than 3,000 skiers got to celebrate America's 243rd birthday this year with a red and a whole lot of white because the snowboard resort in Utah opened for business. It was a rare treat to hit the slopes on July 4th. Snowbird's been open for 48 years, and this is only the 5th time the resort was open on Independence Day. The last time was 2011. None of Utah's 12 other resorts was open.
Oh, that looks
If
like
nothing else, just
fun.
looking at this video is refreshing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, no shirt on.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty warm up there.
So how do we top this? Well, in Hawaii, 25 people took on the Wolfgang Steakhouse Burger Challenge. The burger eating event is new, but it drew a big crowd yesterday. Each contestant had 10 minutes to eat 5 half-pound burgers. The winner was Edgar Ventura. He finished all 5 burgers in 5 minutes and 17 seconds. He won $250, a gift card, and probably maybe a free pass to the hospital.
Pepto-Bismol. How big are the burgers? Doesn't say.
Half-pound.
Half-pound, wow.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's 5 of them.
In 10 minutes? In 5 minutes?
Well, he did it in 5,
wow.
So.
We had hot dogs yesterday?
Yeah, I know. It's sort of like enough.
Yeah, enough with the heat and humidity, too.
Yeah.
That's breaking. By this time tomorrow, we'll feel much more comfortable. I'll have the full News 3 Now weekend forecast in just a couple of minutes. Well, one more warm and steamy day, and then we're going to see a break in the heat and humidity as we head into the weekend. Kind of interesting, if you take a look at visible cloud track, and this is high-resolution visible satellite imagery down to a half a kilometer, and you can see at the low levels, you can see these lower clouds here just kind of drifting from west to east and then eventually from northwest to southeast. That's an indication that the winds near the ground have actually started to shift around in a little more northerly direction as a stationary front or a very weak cold front just kind of meanders areas near the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. In this area where the northerly winds come together with some upper level winds from the southwest, the air just kind of piles up and forms these little clusters of thunderstorms that have been developing and moving off toward the north and east. So far, we haven't seen a lot of development to the north and west, even though the air is very humid. It's still very warm, but there's just not a trigger to lift the air far enough in order to get those thunderstorms going. We'll probably see that happen later on tonight as a little cooler air aloft starts to come in. So right now, you can see a few showers and thunderstorms trying to develop over far southeastern Wisconsin, a couple of flashes of lightning in southeastern portions of Jefferson County, but all of this activity has been drifting off toward the east and southeast. Now, as we widen out the view, you can see to our north and west, well behind the stationary front, there's an area of showers, even a couple of thunderstorms. This is an indication that there's a little cooler air aloft, and even though the air near the ground is not quite as warm, there's enough instability to pop up the showers and thunderstorms. They'll move to the east and southeast. They'll probably affect us late tonight into tomorrow morning, and then after that, it now looks like much of the afternoon will be dry. We'll see some sunshine return, and Sunday should be a great day. So on future radar, you can see the best chances of thunderstorms over the next couple of hours, mainly south of Madison. This activity to the north and west still trying to hold together, and eventually will reach us later on tonight. As far as the severe weather potential, the Storm Prediction Center has trimmed back that marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. It really now only covers far southwestern Wisconsin for an isolated storm that could produce some brief strong winds and perhaps some heavy downpours. Live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Notice you're only seeing these cumulus clouds, but we're not seeing much vertical development like this cell to the south and east of Madison. This is from the WISC Skycam, and you can see that's that shower or thunderstorm in the eastern portion of Jefferson County. So it's quite a distance away, but it's still able to be seen on the camera from Madison. 87, the high temperature so far today. The low temperature is 71, and right now we're at 87 degrees, but with a dew point temperature of 71, it feels like it's 93 degrees right now. Notice the winds. Again, mainly out of the north, but very, very light. So to the south, those winds kind of out of the south, but still a kind of a mishmash of wind directions. So there's nothing really to pile up the air into a more organized area of thunderstorms. But notice the temperatures, even behind the front, they're still well into the 80s. You have to get back into northwestern Wisconsin and northern Minnesota for a little more significant cooling. That's mainly because of the rain. But even back there, dew point temperatures are around 70 as far north as the Twin Cities. Some of that is because of the rain, but the air is very tropical in nature across southern Wisconsin. So it's possible that we could still see showers and thunderstorms pop up at any point. This is what it feels like when you factor the heat and humidity together. Heat index readings in the low to mid 90s over southern Wisconsin, mid to upper 90s to our south. Upper level winds still from the southwest, but with time, they're going to turn a little more westerly, and that will start to bring in a little cooler and less humid air as we head into the weekend. You can see this is that stationary front I was talking about. North of the front, winds generally out of the north. To the south of the front, they're generally out of the south. Temperatures along and south of the front in the 80s, but notice the cooling and the drying of the air back to the north and west. Dew point temperatures dropping into the lower 50s in northern Minnesota. So with time, you can see the shower and thunderstorm chances moving through tonight into tomorrow morning, and then that drier air starts to take hold, clears us out, and we'll see a pretty nice end of the weekend. So for tonight, shower or thunderstorm chance, especially later on tonight. It'll be muggy and mild, low temperature dropping to 70. Tomorrow, there'll be a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. Then we'll turn partly sunny in the afternoon. It'll turn warm but not as humid with a high of 81. On future track, again, shower or thunderstorm chance later on tonight into tomorrow morning, and then that drifts out, and notice the drying moving in as high temperatures reach the lower 80s, but with less humidity. Lows tomorrow night, upper 50s with clear skies, and a nice day on Sunday. Lots of sunshine, high temperatures back to around 80 degrees. Rainfall amounts will be spotty. Some areas will pick up an inch or two. Some areas may miss out on the rain altogether. But as we look at the 7 to 10-day forecast, you can see a much more comfortable weather, at least for the first part of next week. Had to revise the end of the forecast. Notice those temperatures getting back up into the mid to upper 80s for next weekend. There are signs that heat is trying to build along with some humidity, so it could be another spell of summer type weather toward the end of next week.
The art fair is next weekend, art fair on the square. It's always hot.
Well, then if I knew that, I'd put that in the forecast 3 months ago.
Yes, you could have predicted that. All right, Gary, thank you. Looking for a little relief there. Well, there's another superhero movie at the theaters this weekend that's already expected to be a big blockbuster.
David Daniel takes a look at the latest installment of the Spider-Man franchise.
Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too. I don't think Tony would have done what he did if he didn't know that you were going to be here after he was gone.
Spider-Man Far From Home takes place after the events and sacrifices of Avengers Endgame.
The snap tore a hole in our dimension.
You're saying there's a multiverse?
We have a job to do. You're coming with us.
The job for director John Watts was to keep Endgame's secrets while making Far From Home.
I was one of the very small group of people that knew everything that happened in Infinity War and Endgame from basically the very beginning. So that was very stressful. But we planned our movie while they were shooting and editing their movie, so it all happened concurrently.
That spoiled Endgame for some of the cast.
We had to find out to film our scenes properly. And a lot of it was written in the script, so it's not even them telling us. It's just like you read it and you're like, oh, man.
Of course, Spidey has bigger worries than spoilers.
You're all alone. Your friends are in trouble. What are you going to do about it?
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Looks like fun.
Yeah, we'll find out what Will Loper thinks of Spider-Man on Monday. And there's more to come on 4 Today. One of the equestrian contestants in next summer's Olympics will have a special fan in the stands.
Her name is Jessica Springsteen. And yes, that's her dad, Bruce Springsteen, the rock star. We'll meet Jessica when Live at 4 continues. There's a live look from the tower cam. We got some puffy clouds out there.
A little unstable, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
We're just over a year away now from the start of the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo.
And one of the sports is equestrian show jumping, and one of the athletes hoping to compete is Jessica Springsteen, the daughter of music legend Bruce Springsteen. Nikki Batiste took a ride with Jessica.
So this is your office?
This is my office. Not a bad place to work every day.
She may be the daughter of the boss. Jessica Springsteen, everyone.
Hello.
Top equestrian. But Jessica Springsteen was born to ride.
Jess Springsteen and Davendi go into the lead.
Equestrian show jumping involves galloping horses up to 30 miles per hour, over 13 jumps as high as 6 feet and as wide as 7.
Sailing on down towards home.
Each course is designed with challenges like tight turns, triple jump combinations, water obstacles, and a time limit, which is usually under 90 seconds.
Now we have our young superstar, Jessie Springsteen.
A clean round paired with the fastest time earns the win and usually means a trophy and tens of thousands of dollars in prize money.
You're ranked 5th in the U.S. right now. You have a really good chance at making the 2020 Olympic team. How hopeful are you?
Oh, I don't know. It's going to be really tough, but one day I think I'll be there.
Equestrian events in the Olympic Games are one of the only in which men and women compete against one another.
I think it's great. You see, a lot of the top riders are women and men. It's so equal. And it's amazing, and it's always such a surprise to people. This is my happy place, I think.
Here at Rushy Marsh Farm in Wellington, Florida,
you want a carrot?
Springsteen trains on 6 horses a day to help prep for year-round competition. To win in this sport, a horse and rider need to be in perfect harmony. She is as much a celebrity in this world as her rock star parents, cheering their daughter on from the stands.
In the public's eye, how have you been able to go from Bruce Springsteen's daughter to Jessica Springsteen, champion rider, Olympic hopeful?
Growing up in New Jersey, everyone was so used to seeing my parents everywhere and going to school there, especially with riding when I was so young. I didn't even realize what was going on, I think. And as I've gotten older, it's so normal now.
Springsteen won't know for sure if she makes the Olympic team that will head to Tokyo until sometime next year. As for her parents, she says it's relaxing for them to watch her compete, and she says she's lucky to have their support and passion for her career. Nikki Batiste, CBS News, New York.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. It'll be exciting to watch and see what happens.
Well, hopefully she'll make it.
Yeah.
Well, still to come at 4, the U.S. women's soccer team goes for the gold for the fourth time that is on Sunday.
Yeah, speaking of exciting, they're facing new competition, though, from a couple of men's teams. We'll explain when Live at 4 continues.
Time for First Alert traffic, and I'll tell you, it's nice out there. Of course, we're right in the middle of a holiday weekend, so we're not seeing very much in the way of traffic. Live view from the DOT camera on the Beltline of Verona Road. Traffic moving very steadily in both directions as far as around the Madison area. Seeing really no delays on the Beltline in either direction from Middleton all the way through to the interstate. The interstate itself, I-39, 90, 94, no problems there. As far as travel times are concerned, 15 minutes either way on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading out of town, 27 minutes down to Janesville on I-39, 90. Only 16 minutes to Sauk City on US 12 and 15 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue, US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert traffic.
Pretty good for Friday. Thank you, Gary. Madrid's gay community hosted its annual high heel race, part of the city's gay pride festivities. Large numbers of locals and visitors gathered in Chueca, that's the gay center, the Spanish capital, to watch participants charge down the cobbled streets in gravity-defying high heels. Both male and female runners had to wear heels with a minimum height of 5.9 inches. The race has taken place for over 20 years. The winning prize, $1,500.
They're running faster than I can.
I tell you, that's pretty good.
Look at how fast they're going.
In those streets.
That's impressive.
Good for them. Well, the U.S. women's soccer team, they're going to be moving too. They'll have extra competition on Sunday when it goes for its 4th World Cup.
2 men's tournaments will play their final games on the same day. Team USA's Megan Rapinoe calls that a ridiculous and disappointing distraction. Roxana Saberi reports from Lyon, France.
Cross, done! With 24 goals adding up to 6 victories, Team USA seems poised to play its way into World Cup history.
What do you think your team has that other teams don't have? How to win at all costs.
Those moments came when the team edged past Spain, knocked out host nation France, and broke English hearts while sipping tea. That celebration by co-captain Alex Morgan stirred a bit of controversy. But today, she's brushing it off.
It wasn't a hit to England in any way. There is some sort of double standard for females in sports to feel like we, have to be humble in our successes and have to celebrate, but not too much.
Next up, the Netherlands. This is only the 2nd time the team has even made it to a World Cup.
We work so hard to deliver and to do well, and it's so nice to be in the final.
The battle will also be in the streets and at the stadium, with fans dressed in orange.
Of course, we're gonna beat USA. Piece of cake.
Taking on the red, white, and blue.
Big win in the finals. Yeah. Very confident in our girls.
Yeah. They're gonna go all the way.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they do go all the way, if the U.S. wins here on Sunday, it will join Germany as the only teams to win this tournament twice in a row. Roxana Saberi, CBS News, Lyon, France.
And you can watch the World Cup on Fox 47 Sunday morning. It starts at 10 a.m.
And we'll be right back with a final check your forecast. Harry's back. Some relief this weekend.
Yeah, you were saying you saw thunderstorms at a distance.
Last night.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at radar right now. There's a thunderstorm over the southeastern portion of Jefferson County. And I think, later on tonight, you'll be able to see the lightning from that from quite a distance. We can see they're pretty isolated right now. But at this point, it looks like it's going to be later on tonight before we see a little better chance for showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures right now in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. It's 90 in Mineral Point, 88 in Janesville, 88 in La Crosse. Factor in temperature or dew point temperatures that are in the upper 60s to the lower 70s, and you end up with heat index values right now as warm as 98 in Mineral Point, 96 in Janesville. Feels like it's 93 here in Madison, and 92 in Lone Rock, 95 in Platteville. This evening, I don't think we're going to see much in the way of thunderstorm activity other than just in a few isolated spots. Temperatures will be very warm, starting in the mid-80s, dropping to the upper 70s. But again, with the high humidity, it'll feel warmer than that. Better chances for thunderstorms later tonight and tomorrow morning. But after that, the humidity should go away. The rest of the weekend looking pretty nice with high temperatures right around 80 degrees for the next
That's a
couple
little
of days.
better.
Yeah.
I was driving home after the 10 last night, and those storms were way north of us. I thought it was fireworks.
No, that's yeah. I mean, they were up north of the Dells. We were showing that little line of thunderstorms that was up there.
Long way away.
Yeah.
All right. We don't need any more rain, so hopefully,
that's for sure.
Hopefully that won't happen. Anyway, coming up Monday here on Live at 4, we'll meet our Pet of the Week from the Dane County Humane Society.
And film critic Will Loper will be here to tell us what he thinks of the new movie Spider-Man: Far From Home. That's Monday on Live at 4. Well, finally, many of you are enjoying a long 4-day weekend, but not Lola and Louie.
They've been busy in the Newshounds World Headquarters compiling the best animal stories of the week for the Newshounds Now update.
It's Newshounds Now update with Lola and Louie. This week on the News Hounds, an adorable baby sea lion.
2 adorable jaguar cubs.
And who wouldn't love this face? Adorable.
But first, the oppressive heat wave in Europe moves east, but these penguins in Serbia are as cool as cucumbers. Temperatures hit 102 degrees, so the penguins have been cooling off in pools, which zoo staff keep at a refreshing 68 degrees. Same goes for the seal at the Belgrade Zoo. Here's hoping for cooler weather.
It's time for Zoo Babies. The public in Brazil will soon be able to get a glimpse of 2 jaguar cubs born at a wildlife reserve. The female cub has black fur like her mother. The male takes after the father, who's spotted. The brother and sister are part of a breeding program that started in 2007 in an attempt to save the species, which Brazil classifies as vulnerable. Well, now there are 2 more jaguars in the world.
Say hello to one of the Brookfield Zoo's newest additions, a California sea lion pup. He was born at the Chicago Area Zoo on June 10th. His mom is 9-year-old Josie. The 2 are currently behind the scenes, bonding with the little guy, learning how to swim. The public will be able to see this adorable new resident in a few weeks.
And check out the newest addition to the LA Zoo, a newborn zebra. The foal is still unnamed, but we know he's a boy. His parents are 7-year-old male Kofani